The night I walked away from the circle, it was 3:12 a.m. The air felt like it could shatter if I breathed too hard. Candles still smoldered behind me, and for the first time in years, I wasn't afraid of the dark. I was afraid of what the dark had grown inside me. I stood under a sky so black it swallowed the horizon, and I whispered a name I hadn't said since I was a child. It wasn't a spell, it wasn't a chant, it was a plea, and something shifted. Quiet, steady, undeniable, like a door opening in a locked house. If you've ever wondered why some nights feel heavier, why certain hours shake you awake, why the day can turn against you at high noon, listen closely. I was once the voice that programmed the fear. Now I am the voice that breaks it. And I'm going to tell you the 3 prayer times that destroy every assignment of witchcraft. Not people, never people, but the plans, the pressures, the shadows that try to choke your hope. This matters because some of you are living under a weather system no forecast can name. You wake up tired. You carry a weight that doesn't belong to you. You feel your confidence split under invisible hands. You've tried to rationalize it, to numb it, to outwork it. But this is not just a mindset problem. It's a battle for the atmosphere of your life. This message is for the one who smiles in public and drowns in private, for the one who feels watched by a sorrow that has no face, for the believer who loves God but is afraid of the night, for the skeptic who's tired of fear anyway. This is not about hatred of anyone. I walked with people who were as broken as I was. This is about closing the door to what was killing us and opening the window to the one who still heals. Before I left, I learned the clock like a map. I learned when the world is thinner and the soul is more reachable. We called them windows. Now, I call them mercy. Do you want to know why some darkness seems louder at certain hours? Because those hours are thresholds. Change the way you stand at the threshold, and you change the room you step into. After I ran into Jesus, I learned that the times we once treated as opportunities to program fear are the same times heaven loves to whisper freedom. And the 3 that unraveled every assignment we planned were midnight, 3 a.m., and noon. I remember the first time I heard singing at midnight. We had spent hours in a clearing, throwing words like nets, speaking fear like fog. And as the clocks turned, a window lit in a house down the road, and someone's mother began to sing. No instruments, no audience, just a voice, thin but brave. I can't explain to you the way the air changed except to tell you the truth. Darkness is loudest in rooms where no one speaks. She spoke and the room answered. That night, our plans fell like wet paper. I learned later that she prayed every night at that hour for her children by name. When I finally found my way to grace, I understood why. Midnight is when one day dies and another begins. It's the hinge of time. If the enemy wants to reauthorize fear, he goes to the hinge. If you want to cancel what he's written, you stand at the hinge with praise in your mouth and truth in your hands. Midnight then became my altar of return. I would sit on the floor in the quiet and tell God everything. I confessed what I had been, and he did not flinch. I brought him names I had once mishandled, and he showed me mercy for them and for me. If you've ever felt the room go cold for no reason at 12:07, if you've ever heard your thoughts turn against you just as the house settles, stand up. Whisper the name that still shakes the gates. Sing if you can, groan if you must. Read a psalm out loud so your walls hear it. You are not waking the dark. You are waking your courage. You are authoring the new day before it has a chance to inherit yesterday's poison. Midnight breaks the echo. Midnight reclaims the threshold. But there is a deeper night than midnight, and I knew it well. Between 3 and 4 in the morning, the world feels like it forgets you exist. We used to target that hour because most people are asleep, unguarded, drifting in dreams that can be bent. So understand why I tremble when I tell you 3 a.m. is the hour that humbles darkness. It is the valley where desperate prayers sound like drums. It is the watch when Jesus groaned in a garden and chose you anyway. At 3 a.m., I once sent fear. Now I send a different sound. Tears on a pillow, a whisper, "Stay with me, Lord." No theatrics, no performance, just honest ache. That honesty cracks every false altar. That hour is not about eloquence, it's about presence. If midnight is the hinge, 3 a.m. is the chamber where resolve is forged. One night, months after I left, I woke at 2:58 with the familiar weight on my chest. Old patterns came to collect rent. I could have rolled over. Instead, I lit a single lamp and knelt. No script, no perfect prayer, only this: I break agreement with fear. I agree with your voice, over and over like breathing. Something old snapped like a dry twig. I slept like a child until morning. The next day, a text came from someone I had once hurt. For some reason, I feel lighter. Did something happen last night? I wept. Shift your posture at 3 a.m. and the ripples will find people you haven't seen in years. You will not always feel fireworks. Most nights you will feel nothing but your heartbeat. That's enough. The Father is not measuring volume. He's watching attendance. Show up and watch what doesn't. Then there is the hour that feels the most ordinary, and maybe that's why it hurts the most. Noon. The sun is high, the world is loud, and your strength starts to leak out of you. In old books, they called it the noonday demon, a weariness that whispers, "Why bother?" The enemy knows that if he can't own your night, he will drain your day. He will throw confusion like glitter at lunchtime and watch you chase it for hours. Noon is where marriages snap in parking lots. Noon is where you agree to thoughts that don't belong in you because your guard is down and your phone is up. Noon is also where you win quietly. You breathe. You step outside if you can. You say, "I choose peace." You bow your head over a sandwich and speak life. You read one verse. You send a text that mends instead of breaks. You refuse the agreement with agitation. That is prayer too. Noon cuts the lines the enemy drew around your attention and redraws them around your purpose. I saw it happen to a man named Aaron. He wasn't religious. He was a foreman with calloused hands and a short temper. Midday made him mean. One lunch break, he sat in his truck, hands on the wheel, and said into the empty cab, "God, I don't know how to do this. Help." That afternoon, he didn't explode when the shipment was late. He didn't know why. He just knew the burn in his chest let go. Weeks later, he realized his noons were healing him. I tell you that so you can stop waiting for goosebumps to know you've prayed. Sometimes the holiest moment of your day is the one where you choose not to answer the lie at 12:17 p.m. Now hear the deeper truth beneath the times. The clock does not save you. The prayers did not save you. The one who meets you at those hours is the Savior, and he is not tired. Midnight teaches you to step into a new day on purpose. 3 a.m. teaches you to be honest when no one is clapping. Noon teaches you to be faithful when no one is watching. These are not superstitions. These are rhythms that align your heart with a God who keeps his appointments. And from where I stood on the other side of the line, you must know this. The plans we drew were fragile. They depended on your silence, on your exhaustion, on your distraction. We were loud because we were brittle. Light does not argue with darkness. It arrives and darkness obeys. The turning point for me was not an explosion. It was a question. I stood in a kitchen that smelled like smoke and lavender, and I heard a whisper inside my ribs. What if you are loved? Not tolerated, not bargained for, loved. I realized that every assignment I had ever launched or received was built on the same lie. You are alone. At midnight, that lie says, no one sees you. At 3 a.m., it says, no one will come. At noon, it says, no one cares. Prayer, simple, stubborn, sincere, answers every version of that lie with the same word, Emmanuel, God with us, God with me, God with you in the room you're in right now. So here is how you fight without hating, how you stand without shaming, how you win without becoming what hurt you. When the day turns over, speak life into the hours you haven't lived yet. Bless your home out loud. Forgive out loud. Close old doors with your mouth so your heart can walk past them. When the deepest night tugs at your ankles, sit with God as you would a friend. Tell him the truth before you tell him your wish list. Let your tears pray when words won't. And when the sun sits like a crown on the day, choose the quiet defiance of peace. Refuse the spiral. Return to center. Smile at a cashier. Call your mother. Eat slowly. Say thank you. Do not underestimate what that undoing does to the nets set for you. If you could see what I have seen, the plans drawn on napkins that never touched the ground because a grandmother whispered at midnight, the clouds that never settled because a teenager sat up at 3:04 and said, Jesus, the arguments that never began because a father closed his eyes at lunch, you would never again call your prayer small. The world keeps score in headlines. Heaven keeps score in hinges and watches and sunlit pauses. And every time you show up, something breaks that was meant to break you. I will not lie to you. There will be nights when you fall asleep with the light on. There will be noons when the city is too loud to hear yourself think. There will be 3 a.m.s that feel like deserts. Keep going. Courage does not mean you feel brave. It means you do not let fear own the schedule. Set an alarm if you must. Tape a promise to your mirror. Put a psalm in your pocket. You are not performing. You are partnering. And your partner does not cancel. As an ex-witch, I tell you with clear eyes and a steady heart, the clock we used as a weapon is a clock you can use as a window. Midnight is your threshold. 3 a.m. is your forge. Noon is your peace. Step through. Let your voice be heard in your own house. Let your breath be the anthem that tells the dark, not today. The assignments over your life have an expiration date, and it is the moment you agree with light. You don't have to yell. You don't have to know every verse. You just have to show up at the hinge, in the valley, under the sun, and agree with the one who already won. And if you need one line to carry into the night, let it be this. Darkness doesn't get the last word where you keep your appointments with God. Midnight, 3 a.m., noon. 3 doors, 1 name. Open them and watch every assignment fall empty at your feet.